Party time.
So guys, welcome back to Cobra Kai Karate. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're here with another collab with us. We are here with a brand new guest on our channel. He's never been on before, and I recommend you guys all to go check out his YouTube channel. I put in the link in the description of this video and the video I already posted on the channel. I've been watching him. He does reviews, movie reviews, and he actually just finished Cobra Kai, so he got more of a new Cobra Kai fan with us today. And we'll be talking about Cobra Kai. We're talking about all sorts of things. So I'm gonna add him on right now. His name's the King of Cinema. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So yeah, we'll be on here talking for a while, talking about Cobra Kai, Karate Kid, all things like that. We can just talk about just Cobra Kai in general and some season 6 theories. I know a lot of people are waiting for season 6, and we talk about what we think could possibly happen in the next season. So before we start, you just watched Cobra Kai like recently, right?
Yeah, I just like binged through it all 5 seasons.
Yeah. You watched Karate Kid before this, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, for me, I probably watched it back in 2020 when it was still on YouTube actually. And yeah, I mean, all the seasons been great. I mean, there hasn't been a bad season for me. There's sort of, no offense, there's definitely been some not the best scenes.
Yeah.
But as far as the whole show in general, I think it's a really good show. So
I would say that the technically worst season would probably be season 3 for me.
Really?
Yeah, I just feel like of all of them, it's kind of the most uneventful. I mean, I liked the development that we got with Tori, but for the most part, all of them had like big finales, and I didn't feel like this one had the biggest finale of all of them.
Me personally, I would actually say season 3 is one of my favorites. Mainly because of just well, first off, it's more of that was the first season I got excited for, so that's kind of just a personal thing. But also just I love the arcs this season with Tori and Hawk, of course, Hawk's redemption, and it just seemed like the most fun season for me. But I could definitely see where it can fall in where people would not like that season. But I have to ask you, what has been your favorite season in the show so far?
I gotta say, it's probably season 1 or season 4.
Season 1,
definitely
4. Nice. We have the Cobra. What's up? How are you? And then we have Jim Tim here too as well. What's up, Jim Tim? Yeah. I was what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So season 1 and 4 has been your favorite, right?
Yeah, season 1, I definitely liked just how Johnny Lawrence taught all of these really good kids his version of Cobra Kai, and then through them saw just the toxicity of it all. I really love that, especially when he was talking to Miguel while he was fighting Robbie. It was just like a mirror, and it was so good.
I personally think season 1 is the best written season out of them all. Like, especially since it's the first season, bringing the characters back. That was like bringing characters back from 1980, and they really done well, and it's done a good job paying respect to the original and also adding a new generation, which was done very, very well. Season 5, what do you think about the newest season? What do you think about that season? And can you just talk a little bit about season 5 real quick, since that is our newest season?
Season 5, I definitely think is good overall. It definitely leans more into the campy side, I would say, especially with just Terry Silver's henchmen. Most of them, especially the one with the eye patch, I found hilarious. The moment he stepped off that plane, I let out the biggest laughter ever.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see someone with like an eye, like a pirate, join Cobra Kai. It was a bit crazy.
He looked like he just came off the set of a live-action One Piece movie.
It did. I would say the first 2 seasons felt like it had its own thing, like a really nice thing, and then season 3, 4, and 5 went a little bit more, say, a bit over the top, a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Because I feel like they drew everyone out. They drew everyone in with, okay, we can actually take this subject matter seriously. And then with seasons 3, 4, and 5, they said, okay, now let's get into why everyone just loves the Karate Kid, and that is, in all essence, the campiness of it all.
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna say. Oh yeah, and also I was wondering, what do you think your favorite character has been in the show so far?
My favorite character. That's a tough one because I honestly love them all. Honestly, I love Johnny. I love Miguel. There are parts that I didn't really love Robbie, but he's grown on me.
Mm,
Definitely think my favorite's probably Miguel. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Mine will probably be Johnny, of course. I think
Yeah.
Johnny is just a well written character, and his redemption from the beginning has been so great, and I can't wait to see more of him in season 6. And what do you think? What do you think has been your favorite villain? You know, there's been a couple of villains. We had
Yeah.
Kreese, we had Silver, of course, and then we got the new one that came in. We got Kim Da Eun.
Mhm.
She came in. I was wondering what's been your favorite villain so far?
I gotta say, it's gotta be Silver for me because in Karate Kid 3, he was such an over the top villain, but with
Mm,
Cobra Kai, he's more restrained now. And you can see, like, especially like when he's teaching Kenny the silver bullet, you can like see some like, okay, this guy could probably be a good teacher if he was teaching the right thing. He knows how to inspire, he knows how to connect with them.
yeah. Yeah, I mean Silver. I mean, in Karate Kid 3, really over the top. There was nothing really to it, and I really liked it that way. But seeing how they brought it into Cobra Kai, just starting in season 4, how they evolved that character, and I got to give respect to the actor Thomas Ian Griffin and the writers. Such a good job writing that character, and gave him so much. He's really like he's just a terrifying villain.
Yeah.
He's like one of my favorite villains, not just Karate Kid, just overall. I think he's a great villain, and they did a great job with him.
Yeah, I
Really
always
good.
love a more restrained villain than like someone who's always shouting. Someone who can
Yeah,
just go right up to you, look down on you, and say something that's very quiet but still never break. That's one of my
true.
favorite types of villains.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of villains, I want to talk about John Kreese because they did something really interesting with John Kreese
Yeah.
in Cobra Kai. I mean, anyone watching Karate Kid back then would never imagine him to have some sort of, you could say, redemption arc or anything like in that sorts. And we see, even in season 2, the homeless shelter scene, or in season 3, him going out of his way to help Tori, or especially in season 5, the jail scenes. I have to say, do you think John Kreese will get his redemption? And what did you think about the whole stuff with John Kreese and his redemption? Do you think that, well, just as far as the jail stuff, there's a little bit of debate in the community whether he was just saying this stuff to get out or he truly meant it. I just want to hear what's been your opinion on John Kreese as far as in Cobra Kai, because he's been a really interesting take
Yeah.
on him.
My opinion of John Kreese, probably just he was in like seasons 2 and 3, he was definitely the villain, but as opposed to how he was in Karate Kid 1 and 3, I feel like he was much more of a restrained, much more almost sympathetic villain. Like you could see, like, okay, that's where the Cobra Kai teachings come into play. His background in the army, you can just
Yeah.
see how that molded him. That added so many layers to that character, and I really loved it. That was definitely one of the highlights of season 3, in my opinion. And you can
Yeah.
definitely see like how he connected with his students, like with Robbie and Tori. And it definitely added like that. Okay, now I understand why like Johnny was willing to vouch for you so highly, even though you've been nothing but horrible to him.
Yeah. And I really do think that he did care for his students. I do believe that. I don't think he was using them for his own benefit. I think what he thought was teaching was right. And you can see why he says no mercy, because look at the flashbacks. If he would have shown no mercy there, he could have possibly not been end up in that POW camp and just stuff like that. And I think I do believe in season 5 he did understand the pain he's done and the damage he's done to Tori and Johnny. And I believe in season 6, which we'll get in season 6 very soon. We'll still talk about the show overall, but I believe in season 6 will be an interesting thing for John Kreese, and I can't wait to see it. Um, as far as for other stuff, what was I going to say? Yeah, maybe we should start talking a little about season 6. So season 6 is coming. It is definitely coming. We haven't got official renew from Netflix, but it is coming, and it's been confirmed they're going to start writing somewhere in February. So we'll probably see it in December or January, January 2024. So we're still quite a wait for it, and I believe that season 6 could be the last season, but I believe that we will. I think season 6 will personally, I think will be setting up the last season because of course, the Saikai Taikai tournament. They brought that in season 6, and there's gonna be this huge world tournament. I say, well, why not end Cobra Kai or the whole Karate Kid universe on the tournament, like a huge tournament, like the world tournament? So I want to hear your opinions on the Saikai Taikai, and what do you think that will be, and who do you think will win, how that'll play out. I think it's pretty obvious Miyagi Do will win, because if you're in the show, you gotta have Miyagi Do win. But who do you think should win that? I still don't know if they're gonna do a girl/boy division like they did in season 4 tournament. They could just have it be one, but I don't know. What do you think about the Saikai Taikai? How do you think that'll play out? And just tell me about a little of that.
In terms of whether it's going to be like mixed gender or boy and girl tournaments respectively, I definitely think it's going to be boy and girl respectively, because when they were like testing out both Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang against Cobra Kai, they did it like that, boys versus girls, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But with the Saikai Taikai, I feel like season 6 is going to be all build up to that, and I feel like the Saikai Taikai is going to be all of season 7. That's what I feel like it's going to be.
Yeah. And as far as who will win, I do think it'll be a boy and girl. And I think who should win for the boy should be Robbie. Because Miguel, I wouldn't be fine if Miguel won, don't get me wrong. And I like Miguel more than Robbie. But I think Miguel's already won something. I think Robbie's never won anything. And we see his arc from the beginning. He has such an amazing arc. I mean, I personally like him in season 1 and 2. I like him more in season 3 and 4 when he turned a little bit more bad. But his arc was amazing, and him winning the tournament, and also one theory I heard, which I just love, is him change his name to not Robbie Keane to Robbie Lawrence in the tournament. That would be amazing to see. A Lawrence win in Miyagi, that would be amazing. And then just to add on to that, the girl, Tori, she should. I would love if she won, but I think Sam winning would be a little more impactful, because a LaRusso and a Lawrence winning the tournament would be amazing.
Here's what I think is going to happen, because we got Tori winning and we got Sam winning. However, Tori won out. She didn't win fairly. She won because of Silver's influence. What I think is going to happen is Tori's going to win, because even though Sam won, because Sam already had her like round 2 winner. And with the final round, which might be her against Sam, I feel like Tori's going to come out victorious.
Yeah, because Tori, she never really won anything. If you look at it, that thing was kind of a cheat, And I think her winning something would be really good for her character, especially if she joins Miyagi-Do, which could probably happen. And a lot of people have been saying Sam and Tori become friends and stuff. I don't see them being friends. I see them being more allies, because I don't see them like them hanging out and stuff. They're just different characters. I see them respecting each other, being allies, same team, but there's a difference between friends. So. Because I don't think they should do what they did with Johnny and Daniel. They just go back and forth. I think season 6, eventually they should just bury the hatchet. They already kind of did in season 5. So I think Sam and Tori, their whole, what do you say, I guess, beef or whatever, finally gets settled in season 6. And one last thing I'll say about the Saikai Taikai. When do you think it will take place? I mean, you said season 7. Because if it's not in season 6, I think the whole thing of season 6, it could be like you said, setting it up. But I feel like that for a whole season, it needs to be a little bit more than that. So if it is in season 6, I feel like, well, what are you gonna do for season 7?
Here's what I'm hoping for season 6, because the Saikai Taikai is the entire world karate tournament. What I'm hoping for is that we see more and more karate dojos from around the world interact with Cobra Kai and Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do. I want to see how some of them have rivalries with others. I want to set up something of a bigger rivalry against even Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Hold on, I'm gonna get my phone charger real quick. If you just want to keep talking about the Saikai Taikai or just season 6, I'll be back in 1 minute. I just got to get it before. I don't want to die on live. That'll be a little bit embarrassing. So I'll be right back. All right. Hold on 1 second.
We've already just discussed about the possibility of a Tori and Sam sort of allyship. But what I really want to see, even though we've seen them already bury the hatchet in season 5, I want to see more of Miguel and Robbie, because we've seen a whole bunch of their interaction, but with like supervision, like with Johnny around. I want to see them just together, together, just alone, just hanging out. And I want to see like their interpersonal relationship, because with a baby on the way, that might change the whole relationship. Like with Johnny and Miguel, even though it doesn't seem like that now, as we get closer and closer, and as the baby starts to come, I feel like that could change something.
All right, I'm back. Thanks for keeping it entertained, you could say. But yeah, other season 6 series, do you have hold on a second. Do you have something that you like really want to see in season 6? Like one big need you want to see?
In season 6, who was the granddaughter of the founder of the Cobra Kai style of karate? Who was she?
Sensei Kendaku.
Kendaku? I want to see her interact with Chozen, because they're both from a long lineage of Miyagi-Do and Tang-Soo-Do respectively. I want to just see how they interact with each other. I just want to see that tensity between them.
I agree, and I think they could even have a bit of a rival. That'd be cool to see. And since Silver is going to jail, you could say, I could see Sensei Kim taking over the dojo for a while. And because I'll go a little bit more prediction for season 6, how it'll play out, and then we can just kind of elaborate on the theories, I guess. Hold on. So in season 6, I think one thing is first Terry Silver, him going to jail. I honestly, in my opinion, I don't think he will even go to jail for many reasons. Because number one, I think it'd be a little weird just to repeat the whole thing they did with John Kreese with Silver. It'll feel a little bit of a rehash, you could say. So I would like it more to be like him going to court. And Silver, he has a lot of money, or he's really good at manipulating, so he could possibly pay off the judge, or he can manipulate the court, something like that, and get out by episode 3 or 4 or something like that. Because if he does get out of jail, I think it'll put Daniel, Johnny, and all of them like in a position where they feel like there's nothing we can do. I don't know if you've seen Daredevil, but it's kind of like in Daredevil in season 3 when Kingpin gets out and he doesn't know what to do. Like he feels like do I have to kill him? Like he doesn't feel, and I don't think they'll kill Silver, but they'll just be put in that position. And I think it'll be really interesting if that happens. And one last thing, he did lose all his students, and I don't think they'll come back. I think Kim will actually go get her own students from Korea. She'll bring in her own students, and they will be like bad people. Like I don't want these new students to be like kind of have blurs, like they're like kind of good, kind of bad, or like they had a bad backstory. I just want them to be bad people, because in the end, I want to be Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai, good versus bad. That's the way I see it to be. Because and I think bringing her new students would be really nice. And you can have like 1 or 2 main characters that gets a little bit more light onto them, because I've always said we got to be careful how much characters we bring in, because as you see in season 4 and 5, which is kind of my little bit of a dislike on the seasons, they kind of have a hard time managing how much screen time characters get and how much of an arc they have. Like Hawk in season 4, one time it's really big, then it's really small, or even season 5, one time it's really big, it's really small. And I feel like they need to really focus on their main characters, and because they only have like 10 episodes a season, like 40-50 minutes. So I think they should make the episodes longer, for one. That's just one. And then bring in a couple of new characters. And as far as Kreese, he did kind of escape jail. I think his legal issues, I think he will get this figured out, because he is not guilty of the whole thing with Stinger anymore. So I think he will actually, he probably is still in legal trouble for breaking out of jail, but I think he will deal with that, or Sensei Kim can help deal with that. And I think Kreese will join back in Cobra Kai with Sensei Kim, because now Silver's in jail. Kreese said himself, Cobra Kai's not the problem, it's Silver. Silver's out. And we even see that Sensei Kim and Kreese kind of have some sort of a friendship or something like in that way. Because remember when Kim got to the airport and she says, "Where's Kreese?" and then they just said, and then he says, "Oh yeah, he's illegal." She's like, "Oh, that's very disappointing." Or that one flashback when we see Kreese and Silver fighting, that little girl in like the pink thing, that was Sensei Kim, and you can see them like looking at each other and stuff. So I think they had a really good friendship. Some people say that they imply some like relationship. I don't believe that will happen because they met when she was like a kid. That's a little weird. And also, I think Carice, after the whole thing of Betsy, he really like just stayed away from relationships at all. And he just that's just my opinion. I mean, it could happen, but I don't think so. I think that'd be a little weird. But I do think they will team up in Cobra Kai for a while, and I think Tori will actually go there, and she will be really mad at Kreese because Tori and Kreese have a really good friendship, or like kind of like a granddaughter and grandpa relationship, you could say, because Kreese does care for Tori. He really does. If some people say, oh, he's used Tori to help him get his win, that doesn't make sense because why would he let Tori fight clean or not fight dirty if he did care for that? Clearly he cared for Tori. He went out of his way, risking losing the whole tournament just for Tori. So I think Kreese does care for Tori a lot. And I think after he finds out what Kim Jong-un did to Tori, and when the new students come in, he will start teaching them, you could say, soft. I don't believe it's soft, kind of trained like Johnny, but Kim Jong-un will look at it as soft. And I think Silver, when he does get out of jail, Kim will actually betray Kreese, and one day Kreese will walk in the dojo, Silver will be right there, and they'll just have their first fight, Silver versus Kreese, and Silver will just beat Kreese badly, really bad. And I think that's when Kreese will just have nothing. And that's like the first half. And I think that will happen. The second half is just a possibility. And I'm not so sure on, but what I do see is Silver, when he does get out of jail, and Johnny being put in a position where he feels hopeless. First off, I think Silver will like want to get a big revenge on Daniel after what he did to him, putting him in jail and taking his students. I think he will actually go try to attack his business, attack his dojo, maybe attack his family, do a lot of stuff, and Johnny cannot beat it. And Johnny and Daniel, they just can't end this. And I think if Tori does eventually join Miyagi-Do, which I think why not? I mean, there's no Cobra Kai. She's not really on good terms with John Kreese anymore. And Robbie's in there. So I could see her going to Miyagi-Do eventually. She will actually try to talk to him like, maybe you guys need John Kreese. John Kreese, he still does care. And she only talks to Johnny. John Kreese does still care for you. And I think Daniel will actually, I guess you could say, team up with Kreese. Because like Kreese says, enemy of your enemy is your friend. So I think Kreese will hate Miyagi-Do. We all know that. But he hates Daniel. But he just gets one chance to get his revenge on Terry. He's going to use it. And Daniel will be in a hopeless position. John Kreese knows Terry's for best. And I think they'll actually use, you could say, Kreese as bait a little bit. Or try to ambush Silver. And I feel like this will all lead up to, in the way end season, with Kreese actually restoring his relationship with Johnny, with Tori, and maybe start growing some more respect for Miyagi-Do and Daniel. But I still think they'll still doubt him and doubt his loyalty, because that's just, I would too, after his whole history. And I think at the end, this is a bit of a long shot theory, but if there's a huge fight at the end of season 6, however it happens, a huge finale, and Silver has Daniel or Johnny beaten down bad, and he's like about to literally kill him or do a Silver Bowl or something like that. And John Kreese actually jumps in the way and takes it for him, and that could lead with John Kreese passing away. And I know it's a long shot, killing off one of the biggest Karate Kid villains and just a huge fictional character, but Kreese dying in a redemption arc, you could say, kind of like, I don't know, like Darth Vader or something like that. I think it's a good way to end his character, because I don't see him always being on the good side. I just don't see that John Kreese always been on the good side with the Miyagi-Do stuff, but I also don't see him being like in that evil place anymore. So him dying in redemption would be good. The only part where that doesn't make sense is I think that would have to be like the final season and Silver goes to jail. But that's season 6, and how's the Psycho Taika going to happen? So, but that's what I've always thought of John Kreese's ending, him dying in redemption. Is there anything you want to say about that theory, or anything you want to add to that theory, and just more to it? How do you think John Kreese's whole arc will end? Not just in season, the whole show, because I see they're just starting to redemption. I'm just looking at the end goal. Like, is he just gonna stay on the good guys? Is he gonna go back to the bad guys? Or what's gonna happen? I see it him actually dying redemption. That's the way I see it.
I definitely see probably just the first episode of season 6. I definitely think he's probably going to go to Johnny's house. He's going to like confess all of his sins to Johnny and stuff, and Johnny is going to turn Kreese in. But when he gets to jail, he is going to recommend Daniel's lawyer. He is actually going to do that because even though, yeah, he broke out of jail, Johnny might see that he does seem like he might be changed, so maybe give him a chance. Maybe Kreese just has this just like one more hook in Johnny that Johnny's getting at. Yeah. So maybe that'll happen and Kreese like gets off on maybe like a couple months in jail and then community service.
Yeah, I could see that. And I definitely do think Johnny is still kind of, has something a little bit more for Kreese. He's still holding on to maybe something a little. And maybe I could see even Tori. If Tori does join Miyagi-Do and seeing Tori and Johnny talk, I could see Tori telling about how John Kreese really did help her. And I could see
with season 5, it did bring up a lot of legal issues, which makes like a courtroom scenario for a lot of season 6 kind of inevitable. Because yes, Silver broke a lot of the rules of the World Tournament, and he also did beat Stingray half to death. But at the same time, it was Chosen, Johnny, and what was his name, Mike? Mike. It was those 3 did break into his house, assault his guests, and assault him. So that could give Silver some edge to turn the courts against Johnny.
Yeah. And yeah, I think a lot of people kind of forgot about what, Terry Silver is going to jail, but they still did this. And if Silver does get out of jail, I think he'll definitely use that on Johnny or Daniel. Like, I have a lot of dirt on you as well. And so whatever that happens, either Silver says it in the court or he maybe even saves onto it for a different time, because that's definitely a big thing he can do and turn on with, Daniel.
Yeah, they did show as Chosen and Mike and Johnny were charging up onto his house, they did show that he has security camera footage.
He does.
So he could use that in the court against them to prove that
they
broke in my house.
Yeah, he could even cut it up, chop it up, make it look really bad on them. Make it look like he really beat him up bad. I think he could do a good thing.
Yeah, he could just cut out the whole part about him almost killing Chosen.
Yeah, he definitely could. I could see that. And Cobra Kai nerd, what's up? Welcome to the stream. With other things, let me think here. Season 6, I think first off, I think it will start saying the Saikai Taikai for 1, and for 2, season 7 being the Saikai Taikai, I actually think it'll be a huge thing. I think it'll actually be 2 episodes. That'll be the tournament, or even 3. It needs to be something big because the Saikai Taikai needs to be huge, and just ending off the show. One theory I've heard a lot is something to do with Tori, which I'll just bring up now. And it's Tori, and it's an interesting theory I like a lot, and it's Tori, how they're gonna end her character at the way end of the show, not just the end of the season, just the end of the show. And it's her, and this is kind of following the theory of John Kreese possibly passing away in a redemption, because John Kreese still owns the lease or whatever it's called to that original dojo, the original Cobra Kai dojo that Johnny used and trained. Because Terry Silver didn't use that dojo. He didn't even want that dojo. We saw in season 4 the movie out. So I think Kreese still owns that. So Kreese could actually give that to Tori, and Tori can actually be a sensei and continue it. I don't think she will keep the name Cobra Kai just because of the whole thing happened. She might keep something Cobra or Queen Cobra or something, just something they could do. I don't know. And her being a sensei and ending her arc or her whole, her whole character being a sensei, because I don't see her going to college. I don't see her going to a normal job. I think her being a sensei, ending her off as a sensei, And just seeing, I'm just really interested in how they're gonna end the show with every character. I could see Torbina Sensei. I heard she'll say Sam. She could go off to Okinawa, and they could end with her going to Okinawa, learning more about Miyagi Do. I could see in them any Johnny's character getting married with Carmen. That could be. I heard a lot of people said the end scene of Cobra Kai could be like at the wedding of Johnny, with Carmen. And I think it'd bring full circle the show with Johnny starting to be like a drunk person, single, nothing going on in his life, and then eventually him now with like a kid, which I think the kid will actually. I think it needs to be a daughter. I think having another son would be like, well, he already kind of has two. I think seeing with a daughter would be really cool. And if there ever is something way off in the future where they pick up the story of Cobra Kai, seeing like the daughter of Johnny, be really cool. But how do you think they'll end off like the show with the characters with Johnny or Miguel? Because I know it's really out there. We don't know what's gonna happen in season 6 or possibly season 7, but it is an interesting thing to talk about because I definitely do think Johnny getting married will be one. But I can't really think of too much with Daniel. I can't think too much with the others. So, do you have anything that you think they'll end off with the characters? Any character that you have a little theory with of how they'll end off their character, or just end off the show in general?
In terms of characters, I do feel like, in terms of just the Seikai Taikai in general, I feel like Robbie is going to win, and I'm really hoping that in season 6 he joins Eagle Fang. That's one of the big things that I think. And Tori, I feel like now that she's left Cobra Kai, I feel like she will join Miyagi Do, and that will cause some tension between her and Sam, but they will get that like straightened out.
Yeah.
And then I do feel like Robbie will win, and I do feel like Tori will win.
Yeah.
And in terms of like how it's all going to end, I feel like for one, Hawk, I really want like some like more development for Hawk, because I love Eli, but he's just been falling by the wayside these past couple seasons, and I love the fact that he won the tournament, that he won the boys tournament. But I feel like he needs more. So even though I don't feel like he's going to win the Seikai Taikai, I feel like he's going to he's one of those people that's going to keep going and keep bettering himself, but not like go like overseas or anything. He might eventually go on the path to eventually open up his own dojo, but learning from Eagle Fang and Cobra Kai and Miyagi Do, I feel like he's the one that's going to mix them all together and just open up his own dojo, because he seems like the one that mixed them all together into just one perfect package.
Yeah, I definitely think Hawk was, you could say, a little nerfed in season 5, and I feel like they should give a lot more of his character. There's still a lot more interesting stuff with him, a lot more cool stuff he can do, and Jacob Bertrand, in my opinion, I think he's one of the best actors in the whole show. Yeah. If you just look at him either being a bully or him being a good guy, or just him in just these scenes where he can be intimidating, or all these scenes, his acting is just so well. I feel like they should do so much more with him. And I feel like doing a lot more stuff in season 6. Because season 5, I definitely not like how Kenny beat him. That really upset me. Because I feel like Kenny was a newer character. He just learned karate. Like, just last season, he was like running, hiding in garbages. And the fact that Kenny beat Hawk, it just felt like a little, like, I don't know. I feel like he should be more bigger, a little more powerful. A little bit more like him in season 3, but still, I don't want him to go back to like a dark side or a bad side. But I feel like we still need that strength of Hawk, and they need to do more with him. And just seeing.
Here's what I think is happening with Kenny. Kenny went from really timid in season 3 and 4 when he was learning under Terry. When he was learning under Terry as opposed to Kreese. Kreese just beat him down, whereas Terry sort of lifted him up and really filled him with just the wrong amount of confidence that he needed.
Yeah.
And now that Terry is gone, Kenny is going to like try to find like, okay, can I fit into Eagle Fang? Can I fit into Miyagi-Do? And he's probably gonna find no, he can't, because neither Daniel or Johnny just motivate him like Terry does. So a lot like how Johnny always had just a lot of compassion for Kreese for almost no reason. I feel like Kenny's going to have that same compassion for Terry. And if Terry gets released on some technicality, Kenny's going to be by his side.
Yeah, I definitely think Kenny is a really interesting character because I don't know if I see him even going. I don't see him even going close to Miyagi-Do. I still like he has a hatred towards Miyagi-Do, especially you could say as a rival of Anthony a little bit. So I'm really curious what to do with Kenny because do I want him to go back to the bad side or the dark side? Not really. I think he should get a redemption, but I don't know. It's really interesting what I think they could do with him
I
because
think that
yeah,
for the boys fight for the finals, I think it should be Robbie versus Kenny.
that would be cool. Because I definitely I don't know. I just don't see where he could go. He could go back to Robbie possibly because Robbie did the first person to really go at him and help him, but I don't know. It's really interesting what they'll do. I'll read a couple of the chat, then we'll go into a couple other theories because we got a couple
Yep.
more. Okay, I could imagine the ending of season 7 at the end of the show. A mysterious figure walks in Miyagi-Do and starts saying Kreese's lines from season 1. It's revealed that to be Bert. Okay, I'm gonna imagine you're joking, but if you're not, a Bert spinoff. I'm just gonna imagine that's a joke. Hopefully, that's a joke. We got Cobra Kai Underground here. Says what's up? How are you? I'll be back in a couple minutes. All right. Then we got Melissa here. What's up, Melissa? She always has the best theories here. Let's see here what she says. She says, Kings of Cinema. Where do you see Sam's character going?
Sam's character, I feel like she's growing more into her own. She's starting to see the flaws in both Johnny and Daniel, and she's trying to mix them both
Yeah.
into like her own personality. So I feel like she's very stubborn, and I feel like a connection with Tori will just break down like a couple of those walls, and she'll grow more of a connection with just the old stuff, with just the more traditional styles of karate that still like lead their way into just being open with the world. I feel like she might expand. I do feel like your theory about her going to Okinawa and opening and broadening her mind about karate might happen, because that could be very helpful to her character.
Yeah, because I think Sam. I definitely agree with you. Her turning to her own person, because I definitely think she'll have her own style, where it's not just all Miyagi or it's not just all Johnny. I think she will have her own style, and especially of her and Tori. One thing I definitely think is I think Tori and Sam will learn a lot about each other just talking to each other, because I think I still don't see them being friends, but I do see they do have some similarities because Tori had a really rough life, and Sam, she had a little bit more of a, you could say, easy life. So just having them talk to each other, and I think Sam should, and I don't want something bad to happen to her, but I think she should go through something like really dark or something really bad. She's gone through some stuff. She's gone through the PTSD from Tori and just the whole season 4 tournament, but having to go for like a really rough time and her getting out of that, or even you could say, what do you say, or Tori helping her out of that.
Yeah,
Really nice.
that's why I feel like hyping up the Sentai. I keep blanking on the name. The Senkai Taikai.
Like Guy Taka, yeah, that's it.
I feel like building that up in season 6 with the kids more than the adults, and bringing some of the more international karate schools, like having them meet some of them. I feel like that could like lead Sam down like a more like broken path. Like maybe some of them have bullies that pick on Sam, and Tori has to help Sam pick herself back up.
Yeah, and even if there is new students and new students with Kim Da-eun and Cobra Kai, there are these people, the people which I think would be just evil people. I could see one of them possibly start a rival with Sam and Tori. I don't think they should go back to that whole back-to-back rival thing too much, but with new characters. But I definitely think if they do bring that in, it could do a lot of stuff with Sam, and I really hope I really hope Sam. Well, one thing I want to say is because Sam, you said you want Tori to win, and I would be fine with that. But I personally think Sam should win. But there was one thing because Tori needs to have a winning moment. If she does not have that winning moment, it's gonna feel a little incomplete for her character. You could say that at the end of the show, because you could say, oh, she won that tournament. No, she really didn't. She felt guilty after, and Sam really would have won if there wasn't that paid off, you know, ref. So one thing I think they could do, well, just as a theory from I think Melissa said this on one of my videos before, is because if the community of the All Valley go to Tori or go to Sam and Tori and they say, listen, we found out that people cheated, we found out that people that what Terry Silver did, Sam, you can have this trophy if you want. And I think Sam will actually give it to Tori because Tori, she was under Cobra Kai. She was under the wing of Cobra Kai, and she still fought her way. And I think she says, Sam, I think she'll say to Tori, you deserve this more than I do. And another thing is because you look at Chosen, right? You see Chosen when he said what he said to Sam, I lost in Karate Kid 2 or Okinawa because I was fighting against Daniel was fighting for. I think that in the season 4 tournament, Sam, and it's still a theory from Melissa. Shout out to Melissa for saying this theory, but Sam was kind of fighting against Tori, and Tori was kind of fighting for. She was fighting for her. She was fighting for everything. Everything was on the line for her. I still think Sam was fighting for a dojo, but I think she was a little bit more fighting against Tori. And I think Sam will actually say, you deserve this. You were the champion. And if that does happen, that will give her, Tori that moment where she feels like she was a champion and she deserved it. And so if Sam does win in the Psych Attack Guide, we won't sit there feeling a little bad for Tori or incomplete of her character. Because one thing I really like with Sam winning is because I really want to see a Lawrence and a LaRusso winning the tournament. Because that will bring it full circle. We start from Karate Kid 1984 with LaRusso and Lawrence going at each other. Like 30 years later, here they are winning the world tournament in Miyagi-Do. I still think Tori winning would be good. And I don't think, and Sam, she already had her after losing the tournament. It was kind of the same for Tori. She should have that winning moment, and she kind of did with winning that Sekai Taikai thing. Not really Sekai Taikai, but them being applied, you could say.
Yeah.
So it could go either way. The only part where it pushed me more to I want to win Sam to win because just that Lawrence and LaRusso, I've always liked that idea. Because that is something. But I still think Tori, if Sam does win, she needs to get that winning moment somehow, somewhere, and they could do it that way. We got another chat from Way of the Cobra. He said, I think Kenny will be unsure at the start of season 6, but Robbie will become his mentor of Miyagi-Do, and who knows, he can trust him. Yeah, because I do believe in the beginning he won't just go to Miyagi-Do. He'll be kind of, you could say, he'll be by himself. He'll be going through some stuff. And I think he might go to Robbie. He might just show up to his house one day or just show up to him. And I think they'll start talking again. And he might feel betrayed from Silver. I think he definitely hasn't, like you said, Silver really uplifted his confidence. But I think he will feel betrayed by him, and I feel like he will want to do better. And as far as him joining Miyagi-Do, I don't think that'll happen even this season. I think it'll just be more under the wing of Robbie, actually. And then in season 7, when the Psych Attack is about to happen, I feel like he will join. Because I think him and Anthony could actually be friends. I think they have some similarities. And you can even see in season 4, they both like that. Well, I forgot what the game was called that they liked. But, I think I really did not like Anthony in season 4. I'll put it out there. He was annoying. But he was, kind of pressured to be kind of fit in and just became a bully. Still not really an excuse, and I understand why Kenny's mad. But I think at him going to Robbie, and we know Robbie's past of him being angry and manipulated by Cobra Kai, I think he'll help him help Kenny, and eventually I think he will start. I still think there might be a little bit of rival with Kenny and Anthony. But season 7, I think that will go, and then he'll actually join Miyagi-Do. But I don't know. You have anything you want to say about Kenny? And then, are you going to say about Kenny?
With Kenny, I feel like, well, that leads into my like theory about Robbie joining Eagle Fang and leaving Miyagi-Do, and maybe Tori going into Miyagi-Do. I feel like Kenny will first go to Eagle Fang because Robbie's there, and Robbie will try to take him under his wing. Kenny won't feel welcomed there. So he'll leave and try to like, okay, maybe Tori's way is better. Maybe go Miyagi-Do. And he might not find like Miyagi-Do like very uplifting for his confidence like Silver was. So if Silver gets out and maybe not rejoin Cobra Kai, maybe like Silver makes like his own dojo and pays off the judges to like get in like easy into the Saikai Taikai, like maybe like Silver Bullet Dojo or something like that. Kenny will be by his side, and that could like lead into just him fighting Robbie in the finals.
I definitely could see that. Well, one thing you are saying with him joining Eagle Fang, one thing I personally don't think that we'll have any more Eagle Fang in season 6, because I don't see Johnny and Daniel parting ways again. I think they're now with each other now, friends. They're friends. That sounded weird. But I think they will just be in Miyagi-Do, and if Silver does get out of jail, have them separate with each other. I feel like they're just all at Miyagi-Do at one. And Robbie already kind of joined Miyagi-Do, and he's already kind of friends with Miguel, so they could still do the Eagle thing. I agree, but I think Johnny joining Miyagi-Do is, or I guess you could call it Miyagi Fang, some people call it that, would be a more of the thing. Because I think Eagle Fang was just made because Johnny, after he's separated his way with John Kreese, he still didn't like Daniel, still didn't like Kreese, so he just started his own thing. And I think now he's with Daniel, so his own thing is not really a thing. I still think Eagle Fang could still be there, possible, but in my opinion, I see it just kind of being gone and him officially joining Miyagi-Do. But that's the way I see it.
I feel like, going off of your theory about Kreese dying at the end of season 6 and him passing on the dojo to someone, I feel like that could like happen, but with Johnny. And in some legal technicality, like maybe like he passes on the name Cobra Kai to Johnny as well. So that way, with season 4, Cobra Kai under Johnny's new mindset grows like a different sort of reputation, more like the lighter side of Eagle Fang, but as Cobra Kai. And I feel like Cobra Kai itself needs a redemption. It's the title of the show. Cobra Kai itself needs a redemption. And I feel like if giving Johnny the name of Cobra Kai and giving him the dojo of Cobra Kai, I feel like if that happens and in season 7 he uses the name Cobra Kai and Robbie wins the tournament under this new guise that the dojo's under, I feel like that could have like a redemption arc for Cobra Kai itself.
Yeah, I could see that because, like you said, the show is Cobra Kai. If Johnny does go back to Cobra Kai and does continue it, maybe if Kreese does die, it could be like, carry on his legacy like that. Because Kreese said, I am Cobra Kai. So I could see that. And just seeing Johnny teaching just like he did before, like in season 1, ending the show where it started, kind of, I really do like that. Could happen. So yeah, that's a pretty good theory. So I think we'll wrap this up soon. I think we'll read the last couple of chats. They'll wrap it up. And make sure everyone watching this check out his channel in the description. He makes reviews of all sorts of movies, all sorts of shows. I know I found his channel. I don't remember how I found it, but I just found it one day, and it's been great reviews. You always have pretty good opinions. I tend to agree with you on most things. So make sure to check out his channel. It's in the description. And we'll read the last couple chats and we'll wrap it up. So Cobra Kai Underground. It would be cool to see Amanda's past. I know she talked about it, but it'd actually be cool to get a flat percent situation. me personally, I don't know if it's necessary to start digging in Amanda's past.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we're dealing with Cobra Kai, but if they could, yeah. But I feel like there's a little bit more bigger characters to do than start doing
feel like
flashbacks on Amanda.
I do feel like what we got with her in season 5, her like how she was sort of bridged from the love interest from Karate Kid 3. I feel like that was enough for Amanda's character because I don't know. I don't want to like bash on her character, but she's not the most. She doesn't need to be the most developed. I'll say that.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. Um,
Mm.
and then we got a couple more from Melissa. And one thing we'll say about what was I gonna say, Amanda. I do think in season 6, she could well, first off, her and Mr. Daniel will definitely continue, and I do think in season 6, some theories say she might join Miyagi-Do and start training, which could happen, maybe, but I don't know. And one last thing I will say for you, one more question is a returning character, still not return. A lot of people want to return. Some people do not want to return, but it's Julia Pierce from the next Karate Kid.
Yes,
I'm talking.
that's always what I wanted. I either wanted like some redemption for the next Karate Kid because the next Karate Kid wasn't the best movie of the franchise, or I wanted like some connection to maybe the remake because I like the remake. It's not Karate Kid. It's not Karate Kid. It's the formula, but it's not Karate Kid. It's Kung Fu Kid. But I've always liked that movie, and I do feel like maybe connecting the universes like a tad could be interesting. Like even just a passing reference.
I could see like a reference or something,
Mhm.
or just bringing in the actors just there in the background as a reference or a cameo. I'll be fine with that personally because I still think that I do think the movie was good. I do think it just did not feel like a Karate Kid film at all. I feel like if they wanted to make a film like that, they could just done their own thing because they weren't doing karate; they're more kung fu anyway. So I think they could have done their own thing with that, but not make it the Karate Kid remake. But yeah, I would like to see that. I mean, and I'll be fine if they made the second Karate Kid following that story. I mean, I don't know if Jaden Smith still does acting anymore. I think he actually does more like rapping and stuff. But if they could make it work and them involved in that Cobra Kai, some people say they could be the Second Tai guy. The creators have said that they it is not the same universe, and they say that they don't think they even have the rights towards that really, or to even write that. But a quick reference, quick cameo, I would be fine because that film was actually huge. It was still huge. It's still a huge film. And actually, there's a lot of people that when you bring up Karate Kid, they think of that film, not the original, which is a little surprising to me as a huge Karate Kid fan. But I understand. And actually, if I'm being honest, I probably watched that film before the original one, so I don't know. So I'll be fine with a quick little reference as well. So yeah, we'll have these last couple of chats, and yeah, one last thing, Julia Pierce. Them bringing her back would be cool. The actor, I don't think season 6 because the actress is actually currently pregnant, Hilary Swank. So I don't think season 6, but her bringing her in would be cool. Kind of like how they brought in Chosen season 3. Don't make it too big, not too small. But a lot of people want to see her fight Sensei Kim Da-eun, which I would love to see, and possibly her teaching Sam or teaching Tori that one move she learned in the next Karate Kid, the blindfold. And I was just seeing her and Tori interact because they have a lot of similarities with Julia having that rough childhood as a teen, lost her parents. Maybe Tori's mom dies in season 6, which we know it might happen because she's even sick, and Julie comforts her because her mom died in a car accident. So I could see some stuff with Julie, but I do not want them to bring back Ned, that guy, or Dugan, the villains in the next Karate Kid. Mm-hmm. I think leave those guys in the past, in my opinion, because those guys were not the best.
It makes sense to bring back Julie because she is a student of Miyagi-Do. So bringing her back, especially for just the main event for what the Karate Kid universe is, that makes sense. And having her be a mentor to Sam or Tori or both also makes sense. And having maybe like her meet Daniel and maybe like she joins Miyagi-Do as like a co-sensei sort of thing. That could be interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think that Daniel and they met before. I think because they're both Miyagi students, and they definitely must have met at like Miyagi's funeral. So I do think they know each other, and maybe they don't have the closest like relationship or friendship, but I definitely think they've passed ways before. But yeah, we'll read this last chat and then we'll let you go. We've been going for about an hour, so we'll wrap this up. So, Kings of Cinema, do you see Silver returning? And if so, do you, how wait you so do you see how big of an epic battle do?
How big of an epic battle? That's a good question because it's tough for them to beat the Silver versus Daniel fight at the end of season 5. That was one of the best moments of that entire season, probably of the entire show. I feel like maybe a fight between him and Kreese, because we have never seen them fight. Seeing them fight, that could be interesting. That could be like the epic battle we're waiting for.
Yeah, I always want to see that. That'd be great. And also him versus Mike Barnes. You never really saw them fight either. We saw a little, but he just kind of got knocked out right in the fight. So Mike Barnes, because I definitely hope to see Mike Barnes too. I want to see more of him. You've seen between him and Kreese. My theory is that they both do the silver bullet on each other at the same on the throats. Kreese and Silver, because Kreese might know the silver bullet. I mean, I think they both know the move. So then both.
That's true, because like it wasn't Silver's technique. It was his master, who was the same master as Kreese. So that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that could definitely happen. We got another one from the Way of the Cobra. I think Terry won't be back during season 6 by during the finale season during season 7. I think he will, because I don't think Sensei Kim should be the main villain of season 6, because I like her character, but I think she only works as a side villain. I don't see her being the main villain because we don't know too much about her, and bringing in a character just from season 5 to be the main villain of the whole season. And plus, Daniel hardly knows Sensei Kim. None of them really know Sensei Kim. And I don't think Kreese will go back to being a villain, because I think he'll start getting his redemption a little. I might start out as a little bit of a villain, but
yeah, if that is so, and we don't see Terry throughout most of season 6, and we're not focusing on Kim as the main villain, again, that does lead me into my theory that season 6 we're bringing in more international dojos, and maybe each of them could have their own sort of co-villainous role, or some of them could, and some of them could be more allies.
Yeah, I could see that. Bringing in more dojos would be cool, and I don't think the main rival Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai, of course, but having others start coming in would be really, really cool. But I definitely think Silver will get released somewhere in the show. Episode 3, 4. That's my opinion. If they do plan to keep him in the whole time, you still got to show Silver. And like I said in kind of the beginning, I don't really want there to be him in jail, because we already did that with Kreese. And I feel like they're kind of rehashing things, but anything can happen.
I definitely want focus on, in terms of an international tournament. I definitely want to see at least one team from Russia, because do you know Sambo, the fighting style Sambo?
I'm not sure on that.
It has a reputation of being the most brutal style of fighting that is, and a karate style of Sambo from Russia has potential to be possibly even deadlier than Silver style of Cobra Kai. That I would be very interested in seeing, just how brutal they can be, especially if a Russian team gets into a fight with Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang like outside of the dojo, like they do sometimes, and just seeing that Russian team just brutalize Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang, that could be interesting.
Yeah, that I actually would really like to see that, because if you're bringing in more dojos, I would definitely want to see more of them and their styles and their students, and seeing a Russia one with that style would be really cool, and just seeing the compete of Cobra Kai would be awesome. So I do like that theory. I never heard a theory like that, so that was a pretty good theory. King of Cinema, other theory I have, that if then the series finale after Kreese dies, if he does get revealed, it will get revealed that Kreese made a will that will states he left Johnny Trips the mall. Yeah, I definitely think he does still own that will. Possibly give it to Tori or Johnny. I think he will give it to Tori, Because since Tori's more younger, I feel like she could just continue it. But yeah, I definitely think something like that could happen.
Yeah, my theory goes more along with Melissa's that instead of Tori getting it, Johnny gets it.
Cobra Kai Dojo. To her, she becomes a sensei there, but renames it dojo as she's teaching the way that Kreese and Johnny actually wanted, admitting all the negatives by teaching to the positive. Yeah, because Kreese, I feel like his idea of Cobra Kai was good. It's just the the PTSD of the war and also the manipulation of, you could say, when he went to his master, the Kim person. And maybe he didn't know what was right and wrong, and he just sort of just went for it. I think he did want a good vision, never got to show it. I think Tori, if she does take over the dojo, which maybe she could, or maybe it could be Johnny, maybe it could be both actually, who knows. Them teaching Cobra Kai the right way, and like you said, get a Cobra Kai redemption, I would like that. And they could keep the name, change the name, I don't know. But just it being Cobra Kai, kinda, I would like to see that. And just seeing them teach it in the right way. If Kreese does die, that could be a good carry on the legacy of Cobra Kai of what Kreese intended it to be. So
yeah, whether it's under Tori or under Johnny, I definitely think the dojo of Cobra Kai needs a redemption. Not just like one single student from it, or just like one sensei. I think the dojo itself, the name Cobra Kai, needs to like have its reputation flipped upside down.
I agree. Yeah. We got two last chats and then we'll wrap this up. I don't see Miyagi-Do, Eagle Fang, or Cobra Kai winning. I think Miyagi-Do will win because if we're talking like if the second Taikai will be the end of the show, well, there kind of needs to be like a big finale, and I think Miyagi-Do should win. So if no one really wins, it would be kind of a, I don't know, pretty boring finale for the show. So I definitely think there will be competition. I do think the other dojos will have competition, but I think this is the end finale of the show, which I believe it will. The end of a tournament. I think Miyagi-Do should win. That's my opinion.
I feel like going along with my theory of Johnny inheriting the name Cobra Kai, Robbie joining Cobra Kai under Johnny's teachings, and them winning the Saikai Taikai will not only like add like more leverage to just the show's name being Cobra Kai, but also the fact that we started off with a Lawrence on the very bottom, and now we've seen a Lawrence rise higher than they could possibly have ever imagined in terms of karate.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think Robbie trying to get a redemption will not just be a redemption for Robbie himself, but kind of redemption for Johnny, with the Lawrence name being a redemption. And yeah, so I definitely see that happening as well. Right, we got
because the Karate Kid movies, well, at least all four of them were all like Miyagi-Do students winning up against the bad guy or whatever. And I feel like Miyagi-Do winning Cobra Kai, the Saikai Taikai in a show called Cobra Kai, I feel like that wouldn't really mesh. If it was called like Karate Kid 4 or something, or Karate Kid the TV series, that could work. But in terms of the fact that it's called Cobra Kai, I feel like a Cobra Kai student under Johnny's teaching needs to win.
Yeah, I agree as well. And I definitely think, the Tori and Sam thing winning the girl division, you could say I'm still split on. It could go either way. But the boy winning, I definitely agree Robbie needs to win that. Because he's never won everything. And yes, Miguel, he did win. And some people say, well, Miguel never really won as himself or in Miyagi-Do, which is correct. And they could still give him something, and a lot of people say, well, Miguel's kind of the main character, or the main kid out of the kids, which all I agree. And I wouldn't be really that upset if Miguel won. I'm still a huge Miguel fan. But I think Robbie deserves it more, and I think he needs to win.
I just thought of a really funny theory about the last scene of the show. Have you seen Rocky 3?
Definitely, huge Rocky fan.
Rocky 3, when Apollo and Rocky are about to have their little jokester rematch and the movie just ends.
Yeah.
What if Robbie and Miguel had a similar thing? They were about to start a fight, and then Cobra Kai just ends. That, I think, would be hilarious, and it would definitely fit in the theme of 80s nostalgia, and especially Rocky 3, because Johnny just has a huge love for the Rocky movies. That could fit the theme.
Yeah, I really like that. And I've always loved the Rocky references. The Rocky references are just like just great because Rocky is my favorite franchise fictional character of all time. So yeah, I definitely could see him ending something with like Rocky, something like that. So yeah, that's a really funny theory. I definitely could see that happening. Or they could even do that with Johnny and Daniel. That'd be cool as well. But
Yeah.
it just seems just that in general. And it doesn't have to be done like magic, just like fun fighting, kind of like Apollo and Rocky. So I really like
maybe
that.
like an intercut, like sort of conversation between Daniel and Johnny and Miguel and Robbie, and like that sort of like montage editing, and then the collide happens between like a punch and a kick on both sides, and then the show just ends.
I would like that. I would be perfectly fine with that ending. Definitely like that. But yeah, we'll wrap up this video now. Thank you, the King of Cinema, coming on. It was definitely fun talking to you. Like I said, check out his channel. Check out his channel in the link in the description. Make sure to check out his videos if you're interested in just movie and pop culture, everything like that. Check out his channel. It's great. And yeah, make sure to give us a subscribe. And thanks for coming on again. And
yeah, of course, I loved it.
And we'll see you guys next time on this channel. Have a good day. Always remember, extreme situations require extreme measures. Peace out. Peace. All right.
Peace.